What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. Right, today I am in the Lowveld in the Nelspruit Sabi region of South Africa. It's just a stone's throw away from Kruger National Park, and I'm on my way to Sabi to go photograph some waterfalls. So today I will be sharing some tips and tricks on how to be photographing waterfalls, show you some epic locations. Just need to get out of the city because it's no major traffic, but yes, it's still need to get out of the city and stick to the speed limits. It's obviously a province I'm not too familiar with, and I've been to most of these places, but I'm not too familiar with how it works here, because the last time I've been here was 5 years ago. So yes, right, follow me on this epic little trip I'm doing by myself today. Family is at home, they're going to be doing a couple of little things. They're with the in-laws, and I said that today I am taking it for myself and going to shoot some waterfalls. Alright, stay with me. Cheers guys. Here the falls is in all its glory, absolutely spectacular. It's about 60-70 meter drop. Oh, this is a beautiful lake. Alright, now that we're here, we need to find a spot to set up and look for some compositions. Now, as I've been here before, I've shot this waterfall twice before. I've basically shot all the possible good compositions that you can get. Now, the other problem you've got here is these massive amounts of spray being kicked off the water. So we'll need to find, I'm going to keep on wiping my glasses the whole day, so we'll need to find a spot where I can set up this camera so that it can roll and record me while I'm talking, giving you some tips about shooting waterfalls. And the next thing is I'll need to shoot in such a position that it doesn't give me a lot of spray on the lens. Now I know it's going to be a bit of a hard task to do because there's spray everywhere. But yeah, so let's just see what we're going to do. Otherwise I'll have to just chat, explain to you guys what I'm going to be doing, my type of setups, compositions, and then we'll take it from there. Right, so some of the spots I've shot before is with these little bushes in the front here. Use that as my foreground. I've used this little rim that they've created with the rocks. I've used that as my foreground. Last time I was here, the water was much higher, so there's way more flow going over that edge there. Then we can also use these beautiful little rocks in the foreground here. But probably my favorite location or composition that I've shot here is way up there on that railing. But I don't want to shoot the same shot again. It's pointless doing that. Right, so let's quickly scout around and see what else we can find. just so much energy from this waterfall. There's a lot. You can even, let's look at, let me just show you this. Look at the leaves blowing. That is just from the spray that this waterfall is kicking off. It's just from the pure force of the water coming down here. Right, so let's see if we can find a spot up here. Oh, got some, I think it's mulberries here. Last thing I want to do is I want to fall into these guys, because then I'll never be able to get out. They are thorny as hell. Composition is not too bad. It is soaking wet everywhere. You can already see the drops on the lens. Let's see what we've got up here. This could possibly work. Look how beautiful the sunlight is on these shrubs. If you look back that way, you'll feel the spray in the sky. Alright, let's get cracking. Right, so I've got my Canon 6D with my Canon 17 to 40 lens. I'm going to put my filter rings on, but we'll see quickly if we're going to be needing filters. But I'm guessing we're still going to be quite alright for shooting without filters in this situation. The ambient light is very low, so should be able to get nice slow shutter speeds. I would have loved for a little bit more water flowing over the rocks in the foreground here, especially here, but that's how it is. Gonna shoot it the way it is. Alright, so let's get cracking. What I've got here is just a normal microfiber cloth. With this I'm going to be between shots. I'm going to just be covering my camera just to keep the major part of the spray off it. Alright, what I've got here at the moment is I've got ISO 50. I've got 1/5 of a second exposure time, and I've got f16. I'm purely shooting at that to get the ambient light low. Now at 1/5 of a second I'm going to get some nice movement in the water, especially in the waterfall coming down. It's going to go nice and soft with that water. So right, so basic composition, let me show you guys. Basic compositions, I've got these rocks leading up to that. So you've got a bit of an S-curve forming going towards the waterfall. But the waterfall on the left hand side coming in, and actually looks absolutely beautiful. With these beautiful greens. In summertime the colors are much more saturated because it's warm, it's damp, there's way more water, it's not as dry as it is now at the moment. So in summertime the colors are way better, but this is still a little bit of post-production tweaking. We should be able to bring out all those greens to give them a lovely color. So right, so let's get on and start shooting. First image I did, I changed my speeds and my settings a little bit. I went to 1 second ISO 50, so you've got a little bit brighter scene, but you've got more movement in the water. Absolutely stunning. Now because the sun is still busy rising, it's only 10:15 in the morning at the moment. The sun should still be coming up quite high and putting in some light there, but we should be gone by that time. So but the light is changing still, so it's still getting brighter in this little gorge that we're in. And to be honest, I wouldn't change anything about this image. It's just perfect. Right, so let's get another composition. That was nice and quick and easy. Basically the same composition, I'm just going for a portrait shot to get that variance in the images. Just give the lens a quick little wipe and cover it up. Right, so now I'm going to get on cracking, going to shoot another couple of things. In a couple of moments I'm going to be putting on my Lee long exposure filters, and I'm going to give you a look at what that looks like. So top tips: find your composition, especially in the shot area where there's lots of water spray being kicked up from the waterfall. Find your spot, set up, get ready, know what you're going to be shooting, quickly do your settings, get your exposure. You absolutely have to use live view to get that exposure set up and ready to go. So then cover your camera, make sure everything's ready to go, open it up, fire your shot, close it up again. You just need to avoid getting that water spray on your lens, because that is an absolute nightmare to deal with, especially if you're using these microfiber cloths. The lane camera bags, they gather a bit of dust and little fluff, so as soon as you start wiping your glass, they become static because they're made of plastic, so they dump all that fluff right onto your lens. So you need to avoid that. So you need to keep the spray on your lens to absolute minimum. Obviously the further you stand the better it is, but depends on what the composition is that you want to shoot. And with these things, don't be scared. You need to take chances and get the best shot possible. Right, so let's get cracking, get a couple of other shots and chat to you guys in a bit. Right, it's time to go and switch over to shoot some long exposure stuff. Right, got my camera covered up. I've got my composition set up, which I'll show you in a second. Again, when you're going to shoot long exposure shots at waterfalls, especially one like this that's picking up a lot of spray, you will need to find a spot where the spray is limited, so or where there's little spray. Basically because you cannot wipe your camera lens during a 5-minute or 6-minute exposure. So that's why I've chosen this spot. Okay, so right, let's quickly have a look at what my composition looks like. Basically what I've got the waterfall on the left hand side. I've got these rocks leading up, forming a little bit of a wash coming out of this little pond here. So I've got all the elements in my shot. So that water, I'm going to try and attempt a 5-minute exposure, but we're going to do some test shots first. So let's quickly head over and do that. Okay, for shooting this, I'm going to be using the Nissi long exposure filter. The reason why I'm doing that is because we're shooting in these dark conditions. It's just going to give me a much better color rendition than what I would get on my Lee filters. The Lee is going to be very, very cold, and you're going to battle a little bit to sort it out in post-production. It's generally just a white balance issue, but using the Nissi filter is just a way better starting place. Okay, guys. Right, I'm set up. I've got my Nissi long exposure filter in. I've done 1 or 2 test shots just to see what my exposure is going to be like. I'm going to be shooting at f11 ISO 100, and it's going to be anywhere between 3 and 4 minutes at this stage. I've done a 2-minute shot, came out good. Done a 3-minute shot, came out good. Now I want to attempt about a 3.5 minutes. Just want to get a little bit more light coming in. But now, for those who haven't watched my previous long exposure tips video, I'll link it up below and at the top. One of the key things that I mentioned into shooting long exposures with natural density filters is that you're going to have to use bulb mode. Now when you use bulb mode, Basically what it does is your camera wants to show you what the exposure is going to be looking like. So if you've got lots of light, like in this case, you'll get a basic sense of what your composition is going to be like on the back of your camera in live view, which is fantastic because you simply cannot focus easily in difficult positions by using the viewfinder itself. So now with this function you can literally focus on the back of your camera, and you know that you're going to be pin sharp because you know where you want to get your focus, and you don't have to get down in all stupid leopard crawling positions just to look through your viewfinder. So I've done that. I've actually set up my focus before I put my filter in. In a case like this I would recommend doing that, but the thing is, what might happen as soon as you start your filter in, you might bump your focus ring again, and then you're back to square one. So literally I would recommend using the live view function. So right, let's go ahead and shoot 1 or 2 shots. I've covered this up because I had some spray on it just from the 3-minute shot that I did, but there was a bit of a change in wind and I had a lot of spray come in while I waited. There was a whole bunch of people around here as well, so I just had to wait for them to get out of the shots. So right, so here we go, 3-minute exposure starting. Right, here we go, 3-minute exposure starting now. Right, and it's rolling. Right, so while that's rolling, let's chat a little bit about waterfalls in general. One of the things you always got to remember when shooting waterfalls, you need to be careful. I've lost a 5D and a 24-70 lens in a river by shooting landscapes, little waterfalls and streams and all that kind of stuff, and it's painful. Apart from the fact that your insurance doesn't like it, it's a painful thing to lose the camera. The other thing is these rocks are as slippery as snot. To get in, and the water is blistering cold, so to get in here and slip and fall on your ass is not a fun thing to do. Plus then you're going to sit with wet clothes most of the day, and with the case of this waterfall kicking up a lot of mist and spray and street and wind, you're going to be freezing your nuts off. So right, so let's have this thing do its job. Right, we're at 1.5 minutes at the moment. When shooting long exposures, a cable release is an absolute must, because this is just an old cheapy one. You can literally press the button and lock it into place, because by shooting in bulb mode you'll need to hold down the shutter button. And with my Canon 6D, and I'm pretty sure with some of the newer camera models that's got Wi-Fi built in, I can hold down a button on the app on my phone. Problem with that is your phone might run out of battery depending on where you are. If you don't pay attention to keeping your phone alive, it will go into sleep mode, meaning that the exposure will stop. So you need to pay attention to those things when using those kind of technologies. Unfortunately, Canon's is not set up at this stage so that you can set how long an exposure you want to shoot. I know the Olympus cameras, you can literally dial in how many minutes and seconds you want the exposure to be, press the shutter button and it will do its job. But for this, still the old favorite cable release. 3 minutes. And I aim for 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. That's 210 seconds. There we go. 3.5 minutes. Oh man, that is spectacular. Just right out of the camera, no editing done to it at all, nothing. And it's also part to do with the Nissi filter, with that beautiful long exposure filter that I've got. The color rendition is amazing, and I didn't adjust the white balance at all. It is simply spectacular. The saturations is beautiful. Absolutely blown away. Right, I'm going to do 1 or 2 more renditions of this with this filter, see how we go, and I'll pop all of them into the video for you. Right, I'll chat to you guys in a bit again. sitting here at Lone Creek Falls. I hope you enjoyed the tips that I've shared with you, and hopefully see you in the next one. I'm gonna stop at one or two more of the waterfalls if I can. It's about, what's the time now? Let me just check. 22:01 in the afternoon. So yeah, I'm gonna be off. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, give a thumbs up, share it with all your friends, and please leave some comments and let me know what you think of this video. I'm really trying to put in effort to get my YouTube channel to where I want it to be, so I appreciate every one of you guys and all the views and the likes and the comments and everything. Right, thanks guys, see you soon. Cheers.